Good morning, welcome to Ponds Forge International Sports Centre once again for our latest session of heats. This is day 6, and coming up in the next few hours we will have women's 100 metres freestyle heats, also men's 200 metres backstroke, women's 400 metres individual medley, men's 50 metres freestyle and women's 50 metres backstroke. There you go. Women's 100 free, men's 200 back, women's 400 individual medley, men's 50 freestyle and women's 50 backstroke. It's great to have you along here supporting your friends and family in their swims. In our first event, women's 100 freestyle, we have 13 heats. And as always, it's the fastest 10 in each category that qualify for the finals. And the finals will be held this evening. Also today, we will have a session at 1 p.m. of women's 800 metres freestyle. So 3 sessions today. These heats, the 800 metres freestyle, where the medals will be decided in the heats, and then the finals at 5 p.m. Here we go then with our first heat. Heat 1, women's 100 metres freestyle, and we have 3 swimmers competing. Our 3 swimmers are Eliza Humphrey for Swansea University, Vittoria Orlandi for Chelsea and Westminster, and Amelia Coburn for Blackpool Aquatics. 3 para swimmers in this heat. Eliza Humphrey is S11 category, Vittoria Orlandi is S12, and Amelia Coburn S7. It's the points that will determine the rankings of the swimmers, the points relative to their classifications. Orlandi turning first in 34.60 seconds. And into the second half of the race then, it's Orlandi leading, Eliza Humphrey, and then Amelia Coburn in third. For these 2 leading swimmers, sub 1:15 is a good swim. So 1 minute 15 seconds for a good time for these swimmers. First to the wall is going to be Vittoria Orlandi then, and it's 1:12.53. Eliza Humphrey 1:14.01 and Amelia Coburn 1:17.06. Those are good times for all 3 of those swimmers. Vittoria Orlandi 1:12.53. And that's right on her entry time, which was 1:12.65. So a good swim for Vittoria. It's a personal best time actually, looking back over the records. Eliza Humphrey 1:14.01, a season's best time, and Amelia Coburn 1:17.06. Almost exactly her PB, just 4/100ths of a second slower than her previous best time. So well done to everyone there. As we had visually impaired athlete in that final, the judges will check that Eliza Humphrey's goggles were completely blacked out before they confirm the result. Now the result's confirmed. There you go. And Amelia Coburn is the top scorer from that heat, 726 points. Eliza Humphrey second with 673. Vittoria Orlandi 533. All 3 will qualify for the mixed classification final with those performances. On to heat 2. The swimmers in heat 2, 8 of them. Tia Johnson for Newcastle Swim Team, Olivia Patterson for University of Aberdeen Performance, Imogen Dodds for Northampton, Tilia Glynn for Knutsford Amateurs, Sienna Oxby for Repton Swimming, Lena Crisp for Norwich Swan, Scarlett Humphrey for Loughborough University, and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop for Crawley. All 8 swimmers in this heat are para-swimmers, and the classifications in 7 and 8, turning 4th and 6th there. Tia Johnson and Olivia Patterson are S10 classification. In lanes 2 and 1, turning 7th and 8th there, Scarlett Humphrey and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop S11. Imogen Dodds in 6, S13. And Tilia Glynn, Sienna Oxby and Lena Crisp are S14. So once again, we'll be looking for points scored by these swimmers to qualify for their finals. There are 2 finals to swim for here. First to the wall then, it's Sienna Oxby. 104.66 rather. And Sienna's personal best is 104.38, so very close to that. Tilia Glynn, 105.19, that's a PB. Lena Crisp, 107.13, a good time. And in terms of points, the highest scorer in that heat was Scarlett Humphrey, who finished in 7th place. And you'll see when Scarlett and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop have had their goggles checked, that Scarlett 767 points was the highest scorer. Swimmers in the S14 classification swimming for places in a separate final. So an S14 final and a mixed classification final to come in the evening session. Scarlett Humphrey, 767 points. The second highest scorer in that heat was Sienna Oxby with 670. And as long as there were no disqualifications, then all 8 swimmers from that heat will qualify for their finals. So we just need to confirm when we have the final result that there are no disqualifications. And if we get that confirmation, then everybody qualifies from that heat. There we go, no disqualifications. So all 8 swimmers will be back for the final. For Sienna Oxby, Tilia Glynn and Lena Crisp, that's the S14 final. And for Tia Johnson, Imogen Dodds, Olivia Patterson, Scarlett Humphrey and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop, that will be the mixed classification final. We go on to Heat 3. Our swimmers in Heat 3, Amber Haycock for Northampton, Evie Donaldson for City of Newport, Gracie Brooke for Stockport Metro, Sophia Simonis for Leatherhead, Summer Chirita for Repton, Eleanor Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Olivia Daniel for Verulam, Callie-Ann Warrington for Hackney Anaconda, Emily Taylor for South Lanarkshire, and Tara Beard for Maxwell. We have swimmers in para classifications in lane 9, 2 and 0. Amber Haycock, who turned 10th, Callie-Ann Warrington, who turned 9th, and Tara Beard, who turned 8th. Tara is S14, Callie-Ann Warrington and Amber Haycock S10. Everybody else here is in the 13-14 age group category. And we come into the last 10 metres. And it's lane 5, Summer Chirita, who looks like she's going to get to the wall first. 60.19 seconds. That's a PB for Summer. Evie Donaldson's time, 60.31. That's a PB, finishing second there. Third was Olivia Daniel in 60.43. Only 2/100ths of a second slower than her personal best. We have 3 qualifiers for finals there. Callie-Ann Warrington, 851 points into the mixed classification final. Tara Beard, 689 into the S14 final. Amber Haycock, 726 into the mixed classification final. And swimming under 61 seconds there. Good times for the age group swimmers. On we go to Heat 4. The swimmers in Heat 4 are Lexi Mulcahy, Freya Cox, Effie Chapman, Ada Yao, Malika Azana Ball. Lexi Mulcahy for Plymouth College Aquatics, Freya Cox for Norwich Swan, Effie Chapman for Nova Centurion, Ada Yao for Borough of Waltham Forest, Malika Azana Ball for City of Leeds. In 4, it's Sian Headley for Nova Centurion, 3, Betty Grice for City of Brighton and Hove, 2, Sophie Lane for City of Leicester, 1 is Isla Bennett, City of Cardiff, and lane 0, Ariana Minerva for Chelsea and Westminster. Effie Chapman getting out ahead of everybody else on that first 50 then in 28.32 seconds. We might get 1 or 2 swimmers under 60 seconds in this heat. And after this heat, our fastest 13-14 swimmer will qualify for the final. So Effie Chapman may well get there. 58.78 qualifies for the 13-14 final. So Effie Chapman is guaranteed a place in her final. We also had 15-year-old swimmers there. Malika Azana Ball, who finished second, and Freya Cox, who was third. Only one confirmed qualifier there, Effie Chapman. And Sophie Lane's time, the second fastest 13-14-year-old there, 60.62. That won't be quick enough to get into the final. But Effie Chapman does qualify. 58.78. A PB by a second and a quarter. Malika Azana Ball also with a PB, 59.16. Freya Cox, that was her first ever swim under 60. Well done. On we go to Heat 5. In this heat we have Esme Wykes for Millfield, Amy Langer for Atlantis, Olivia Newman-Baronius for Maxwell, Helena Ashby for Taunton Dean, Don Guiveau for City of Sheffield, Molly McGinley for Repton Swimming, Natalie Hebel for Chelsea and Westminster, Maya Orphanidis for Chelsea and Westminster, Amy Sanders for Dunstable, and Edie Foster for Bishops Stortford. Lane 0, Edie Foster turning just behind Amy Langer there. 0.3 of a second between them. Amy Langer in lane 0. We have swimmers in this heat from the 13-14 age group in lanes 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 15-year swimmers in 9, 8 and 0. And in lane 7, Olivia Newman-Baronius is S14 para swimmer. So it's going to be Amy Langer, and the PB for Amy is 59.18. So that's the first ever swim under 59 seconds for Amy, swimming 58.29. She's the fastest 15-year-old so far. Helena Ashby, 59.64, finishing second in that heat. Will qualify for the 13s-14s final. So qualifying for the 13s-14s final there, Helena Ashby, Molly McGinley and Maya Orphanidis. From the previous heats, Summer Chirita and Evie Donaldson now qualify as well. In the 15 years there, Amy Langer qualifies. And from the previous heat, Malika Azana Ball is now guaranteed a place in the final for 15 years swimmers. We go on now to Heat 6. And in Heat 6, we have Tyler J. Thomas for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Maya Dodd for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Keris Griffiths for Pembrokeshire County, Layla Waring for West Dorset, Edith Price for Mount Kelly. Then there's the empty lane in lane 4. In 3, it's Emily Hall for Warrington Warriors, lane 2, Amy Mayer for Biggleswade, lane 1, Emmy Sherrod for Torfine Dolphins Performance, and lane 0, Amelia Spence for City of Birmingham. Edith Price turning first. Edith's in the 17s and 18s age group. At the top of the picture, Tyler J. Thomas is a 13s, 14 swimmer. In lane 6 and 0, Layla Waring and Amelia Spence are 15-year swimmers. In 8, 7 and 3, Maya Dodd, Keris Griffiths and Emily Hall are 16s swimmers. It's going to be Edith Price to win this heat. Edith's PB is 57.44. It's just a shade slower than that, 58.73. Emma Sherrod, 59.06. That's a new PB. Great swim. Emily Hall, 59.43, finishing in third there. The fastest 13, 14-year-old there was Tyler Jade Thomas. And her time, 60.92. Won't make the final, I'm afraid. Layla Waring qualifies there for the 15 years final. Emily Hall, we'll have to wait and see. On to heat 7. Our swimmers in heat 7. Emily Ainsworth Fletcher for Winchester City Penguins. Catherine Williams for Wickham District. Autumn Claxton for Stockport Metro. Alana Henry for Killer Wales. Lucy Douglas, Guildford City. Eve Wood, Orkney. Olivia McCall, Repton Swimming. Erin Barber for Norwich Swan. Rin Mayo for Camden Swiss Cottage. And Ella Smith for Borough of Stockton Swim Scheme. Eve Wood turning first. We have swimmers in the 15 years age group in 7 and 6, Autumn Claxton and Alana Henry. And in lane 1, Rin Mayo is a 13-14 swimmer. Catherine Williams for Wickham District is leading the way. And she's a 17-18 age group. The fastest time so far in the 17s and 18s is 58.73. So Catherine Williams, 58.65, is the new leader in the 17s and 18s. Erin Barber, 59.34, finishing second there. Qualifying for finals then. Rin Mayo qualifies for the 13-14 final. Alana Henry, Autumn Claxton, they qualify for the 15 years final. And everybody else has to wait and see. So Rin Mayo, 60.17, finishing 9th there. She's the 4th fastest 13, 14-year-old at the moment. We go on to heat 8. In heat 8, we have Kelsey Ray for Crawley. Kelsey Rea, I beg your pardon. Freya Tyndale for City of Sunderland. Daisy Sian Palmer for Atlantis. Liberty Jones for Taunton Dean. Maddie Markle for Guildford City. Naomi Conde for Bishop Stortford. Abigail McInerney for City of Glasgow. Jessica Kirkwood for University of Aberdeen Performance. And Maisie Jones for City of Cardiff. Lane 3 is empty. At the halfway turn, it's Naomi Conde. And her time there, 27.81. We have 13-14 swimmers in 8 and 5 here. Freya Tyndale and Maddie Markle. And the leader then in lane 2, Abigail McInerney, who's got a personal best of 57.68. 0.4 of a second slower than that. Good swim. Daisy Sian Palmer was second in 58.83. Maddie Markle was the fastest of the 13-14 swimmers there, with a time of 59.81. Maddie Markle qualifies with 59.81. Freya Tyndall qualifies for the 13-14 final with 60.21 seconds. From an earlier heat, Donkin Guy qualifies for the 15 years final as a result of those times there. We go on to heat 9. 5 heats left. In this heat, we have Viana Sefi for City of Salford, Rachel Holgate for Crawley, Bella Jones for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Poppy Worthington for Mount Kelly, Molly Irvin Watson for Dumfries, Zoe Rogers for Trafford Metro, Tegan Gale for Guildford City, Maya Al Mohammed for Repton Swimming, Eva Higginbottom for Swindon Dolphin, and Millie Harris for West Norfolk. At the turn, not much to choose between them. First to the wall was Rachel Holgate for Crawley. We have Viana Sefi at the top of the screen, who's a 15-year swimmer. We have 3 16-year swimmers in this heat as well. Bella Jones, Zoe Rogers and Maya El Mohammed. So we'll know more qualifiers for the 15s and 16s finals after this. Finishing well in lane 3 is Tegan Gale. Tegan looks like she's coming through to get up into the top 3. She's second there. Rachel Holgate, 58.27. Rachel Holgate then winning the heats. 58.27 is a new PB for Rachel. Viana Sefi qualifies for the 15 years final with 58.7. Maya Al Mohammed qualifies for the 16 years final with 58.51. And also, as a result of that heat, we know that Daisy Shan Palmer from the previous heat qualifies now for the 16 years final. That is confirmed. We go on now to heat 10, 4 heats to come. Our swimmers here are Phoebe Arbuckle for Warrender Baths, Kate Schillinger for Repton Swimming, Alice Young for Leatherhead, Layla Weatherspoon for Heart of Midlothian, Ellen Winstanley for City of Hereford, Sadie Roberts for Mount Kelly, Daniela Bresner for City of Southampton, Eloise Perrott for Knutsford Amateurs, Olivia O'Mahony for Cockermouth, and Emma Hagberg for Mount Kelly. Lane 7, Alice Young turning ahead of everybody else in 27.72. Second at the turn was Ellen Winstanley. In this heat, we have 16-year swimmers in 8 and 4 who could qualify for their finals, Kate Schillinger and Sadie Roberts. And Kate Schillinger is finishing very strongly in 8. She's right up there with Alice Young. So Kate Schillinger is going to qualify with this time, 57.68. New PB for Kate Schillinger. She'll qualify for the 16 years final with that. Alice Young, 57.77. It's a season's best. Ellen Winstanley was third there, 58.74. Our other 16-year swimmer there, Sadie Roberts, has to wait and see if she qualifies for the 16 years final. From an earlier heat, Naomi Conde qualifies for the 16 years final for sure as a result of those times. We go on to heat 11, 3 heats left, so we're circle seated now. Very fast swimmers now in the middle of the pool. And in heat 11, it's Charlotte Gower for City of Coventry, Amy Hempenstall for Guildford City, Carey Sullivan for City of Manchester Aquatics, Sophie Ben for Mount Kelly, Jessica Smelt for Loughborough University, Charlotte Berry for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Paige van der Westhuizen for University of Stirling, B. Jones for the University of Birmingham, Zara Kraviec for East Lothian, and Heidi Corbett for Guildford City. Turning first, Carey Sullivan, and she is the only 16-year swimmer in this heat. Heidi Corbett on the near side in lane 0 is a 15-year swimmer. And we should get 3 people qualified for the 17-18 final, I reckon, after this heat, and 4 for the 19s and overs. It's possible all the swimmers in this heat could make the final. Into the wall, it's going to be Jessica Smelt. Great second 50, 57.08. So Jessica qualifies for the 19s and overs final with that time. Paige van der Vesthuizen also qualifies for the final. Charlotte Gower, 57.75, qualifies for the 17s and 18s final. We now know Alice Young from the previous heat will be in the 17s, 18s final as well. Heidi Corbett qualifies for the 15 years final with her time. Kerry Sullivan into the 16 years final, that's confirmed. We go on to heat 12, 2 heats to come. In Heat 12, we have Poppy McCready for Guildford City, Erin Perman for Exeter City, Amelia Wright for Harrogate District, Scarlett Major for Swansea University, Hannah Capron for City of Brighton and Hove, Annabelle Compton for Wickham District, Phoebe Cooper for City of Sheffield, Isabella Jones for Nofio-Sirgar, Gisela Silano for Guildford City, and Isabella Keane for Maxwell. Hannah Capron comfortably ahead of everybody else in 26.60 at the turn. Hannah's PB is 55.40. And second at the turn, Poppy McCready, a 15-year swimmer, the only 15-year swimmer in this heat. We have 3 16-year swimmers as well. Erin Perman in 8, Amelia Wright in 7, and Gisela Silano in 1, all trying to get into their finals. It's going to be Hannah Capron to win the heats in 55.05, a new PB for Hannah. And she qualifies there for the 17-18s final. Phoebe Cooper, 56.81, will also qualify. And Annabelle Compton also qualifying for the 17-18 final. Amy Hempenstall from a previous heat is also now guaranteed a place in the 17-18 final. In the 19s and over there, Scarlett Major, Isabella Jones both qualify. In the 16 years, Amelia Wright and Erin Perman both qualify. And in the 15 years, Poppy McCready qualifies for the final. In the 16 years, we also now know Sadie Roberts and Zoe Rogers from a previous heat qualify. Amy Hempenstall from a previous heat qualifies for 17s, 18s. Here comes the final heat, heat 13. In the final heat then, the swimmers are Lily Mundell for Heart of Midlothian, Lydia Caudle for Repton Swimming, Elizabeth Land for Morpeth, Jessica Podger for University of Bath, Isabella Acaro for the University of Birmingham, Sky Carter for Mount Kelly, Ellie Fries for Guildford City, Bethan Cook, City of Birmingham, Kiana Kurtzer for Warrender Baths, and Willow Harrison for City of Sheffield. On the far side of the pool lanes, 9 and 8, Lily Mundell and Lydia Caudle are both 16-year swimmers. We have 17-18 swimmers in 7, 3, 1 and 0. Elizabeth Land, Ellie Fries, Kiana Kurtz and Willow Harrison. And the other 4 swimmers are 19s and overs. Leading the way, it's Sky Carter. Sky Carter looking very strong into the last 5 metres then. Swimming in her way into the 19s and overs final with 55.44, a season's best time, that for Sky. Bethan Cook was second in 56.78, also in the 19s and over. They both qualify. So of the swimmers there in the 19s and overs, Sky Carter, Bethan Cook, Jessica Podger and Isabella Acaro qualify for their final. In the 17s, 18s, Ellie Fries, Kiana Kurtzer both qualify. And from earlier heats, Abigail McInerney and Rachel Holgate also qualify as a result of those times. In the 16 years there, Lydia Caudle and Lily Mundell both qualify for their final. Well done to everyone who had PBs. Well done to everyone who qualified for finals. Well done to everyone who had a good swim there. Some great performances in the women's 100 metres freestyle heats. We go on now to men's 200 metres backstroke. There are 12 heats. And in our first heat, we will have 3 swimmers competing. The 5 swimmers in Heat 1 are Nathan Austin for Elmbridge Phoenix, Ashton Hunter for City of Peterborough, Ethan King for Pennyroyal, Benjamin Piscopo for City of Peterborough, and Jason Lee for City of Birmingham. A good time for the swimmers in this heat would be under 2:23. So that's our target for all 5 of these swimmers in Heat 1. First to turn, Ethan King, followed by Nathan Austin, Jason Lee, Benjamin Piscopo, and Ashton Hunter. All of these swimmers are 13-14 age group. 2 names from the bottom of the picture. Benjamin Piscopo is 13 years swimmer, so he is the youngest in this heat. Coming up to the halfway turn, it's Ethan King over first, ahead of Nathan Austin, Jason Lee, Ashton Hunter, and Benjamin Piscopo. 67.57 was the time at the halfway turn for Ethan King. Remember, what we'd like is something under 2:23 for as many of these swimmers as possible. So watch the clock. 2:23 would be a really good performance for everyone. To qualify for the final, you would definitely need to be under 2:20. So into the final turn, and now it's Jason Lee, 1:44.8 at the turn. Ashton Hunter in second is swimming quickest of all, 2 lanes from the top. Ashton Hunter is moving through the field now up to second, so it's Jason Lee, then Ashton Hunter, but Ashton Hunter I think now probably in the lead. So it's Ashton Hunter ahead of Jason Lee, and Nathan Austin looks like he is third. Remember, 2:23 is a really good time for these swimmers, sub 2:23. So let's get as many as possible under that time. Ashton Hunter, 2:20.52, personal best time. Nathan Austin, 2:21.66 PB. Jason Lee, 2:21.92 PB. Ethan King in 2:22.77, and Benjamin Piscopo in 2:24.38. So PB's there for the first 3 swimmers: Ashton Hunter, Nathan Austin, and Jason Lee in Heat 1. Well swum. It's possible that Ashton, Nathan, Jason, they could qualify for the final. We will find out after the next heat when we start to get swimmers qualifying for the 13-14 final. So we'll keep you up to date with that, because I know that there'll be many of you watching looking for your swimmers to qualify for finals and get PBs. Heat 2, 10 swimmers competing. All of these swimmers are in the 13-14 age group. We have Ethan Brown for Atlantis, Andrew Fernando for Warren Baths, Rory Yarney for Northgate Bridgenorth, Elliot Fountain for Cirencester, Tobias Anderson for City of Norwich, Jacob Thistlewood for Mount Kelly, Rory McDonald for Guildford City, Gabriel Pereira Hill for Bexley, Edward Rose for Rotherham Metro, and James Ellis for Doncaster Darts. What a start for Ethan Brown in lane 9, 31.03 at the turn. So it's Ethan Brown leading, and second at the turn was Rory McDonald, third Tobias Anderson. Rory McDonald is 4 lanes from the bottom of the picture in lane 3. Tobias Anderson in the white cap in lane 5, one of those yellow lanes in the middle of the pool. In this heat, we should get a few swimmers under 2 minutes 20. third now, overtaken by Rory McDonald and Tobias Anderson. 66.73 at the turn. And still these three looking strong. But now coming through, Edward Rose in 1 and Gabriel Pereira Hill in 2. Also in 3, Rory McDonald still up there in second place. It's going to be Anderson, McDonald and then Rose at the turn in that order. 1:42.34. And I think our leading swimmers will probably swim 2:18, maybe even a little quicker here, which would qualify for their final. We would expect the first 6 swimmers in this heat to qualify. So Tobias Anderson will get into the final with 2:17.66. Rory McDonald qualifies 2:19.26. Edward Rose will qualify with 2:20.42. Ashton Hunter from the first heat has got a chance of qualifying because he was 2:20.52, so he would have been third in that heat. Tobias Anderson, Rory McDonald, Edward Rose and Gabriel Pereira Hill do qualify. From the first heat, Ashton Hunter qualifies for the final. Nathan Austin also qualifies from the first heat. So that means we still have 4 places available in the 13-14 final. Jason Lee will have to wait and see from the first heat. Ethan Brown from this heat in 5th will have to wait and see if 2:21.94 qualifies. We go on now to heat 3. The 10 swimmers in Heat 3 are Mason Trainer for City of Leicester, Richard Skorokix for Team Ipswich, Moses Lamb for Repton Swimming, Aidan Moran for City of Sunderland, Thomas Hill for Newcastle Swim Team, Matthew Turner for Warrender Baths, Iggy Kashemian Piokta for Wandsworth, George Harrison for Kingston upon Hull, Romeo Ball for Maidstone and Tate Shillingford for the Royal School Wolverhampton. 2 swimmers in this heat are in the 13-14 age group. Mason Trainer in 9 and Romeo Ball in 1. Romeo turning in 10th and Mason Trainer at that turn was 6th. So we're watching their times for potential qualifiers for 13-14's final. Our leader in lane 2 is George Harrison for Kingston upon Hull, but it looks like Iggy Kashemian Piokta is going ahead of him now. They are both 15 years swimmers. And now coming through in 5 as well, Thomas Hill for Newcastle. But it's going to be Iggy Kashemian Piokta who leads at the halfway turn in 65.82 joint with Thomas Hill. So it's Kashemian Piokta and Hill. Third then Aidan Moran in lane 6. So coming up to the final turn, lane 5 Thomas Hill and lane 6 Aidan Moran now tussling. 1:40.30 at the turn. We're looking at times in the 2:15 range, I would say, here for these swimmers. That's a good time for all of the leaders. Aidan Moran, the leader now, he's got a PB of 2:13 and he looks like he's accelerating towards that kind of pace. So into the final 5 metres. Can we get under 2:13 for Aidan Moran for a PB? Not quite, 2:13.52, but it's a good time. Iggy Kashemian Piokta 2:14.52, that's a personal best. Thomas Hill, 2:14.97. That's a PB. George Harrison, 2:16.81. Only 5/100ths of a second slower than his personal best. And we're looking at Romeo Ball, who finished 7th, and Mason Traynor, who finished in 8th. They both qualify for the 13-14 final with those times. Ada Moran, Igi Kashemian Piokata, Thomas Hill, they'll have to wait and see if they qualify for the 15 years final with those times. So no guaranteed qualifiers yet for the 15 years final. Our next heat will be Heat 4. In this heat, we have Joe Heather for Repton Swimming, Thomas Stanimirov for Plymouth College Aquatics. Lane 7 is empty. Jacopo Agosti in 6 for City of Cambridge, Daniel Barton for Wigan Best, Jack Smith for City of Leicester, and Jack Smith for City of Birmingham, 2 swimmers with the same name. Finley Byrne for City of Liverpool, Xavier Zurban for Biggleswade, and Andrew Noakes for Portsmouth North Sea. We have 13-14 swimmers in 9 and 8 on the far side of the pool. Thomas Stanimirov and Joe Heather. The rest are 15s and 16 swimmers. We won't be able to guarantee anyone a place in the final for the 15s and 16s when this heat finishes. They will all have to wait and see in the 15s and 16s, but we will know 2 more qualifiers for the 13s and 14s final, depending on the performances on the far side of the pool from Joe Heather and Thomas Stanimirov. And the halfway turn is Xavier Zurban in 1, who's a 15-year swimmer, 64.05. Leading from Jacopo Agosti, who is also a 15-year swimmer. We have 2:13 as a target time for these swimmers, I would say. Anyone going under 2:13 would be doing well. And to get there, you probably need to turn under 1:40 at this turn. So under 1:40 at this turn would be swimmers on for PBs. So that's Xavier Zurban under 1:40. Finley Byrne, Jack Smith for City of Birmingham, also under 1:40. Jacopo Agosti right on that pace. So those leading 4, possibly Daniel Barton as well, 1:40.55. We'll be looking at PBs potentially here. Our leader is Xavier Zurban, 2:13.66. I think he's going to beat that. So this looks like a lifetime best swim for Xavier Zurban into the final 5. And Xavier's time, new PB, 2:10.74. Finley Byrne, 2:13.32. That's a personal best. Jack Smith for City of Birmingham, 2:14.16. It's a good time for him. Jacopo Agosti, 2:15.21. Thomas Stanimirov, 2:17.97 in the 13s and 14s. Qualifies for the final. Joe Heather, 2:22.04. Will not qualify. So you'll see the 13s and 14s when we get the result. Thomas Stanimirov qualifies for the 13-14 final with his time. We are waiting for the result to be officially confirmed. There will, when you see the result, there will be one confirmed qualifier for a final. In 6th place, Thomas Stanimirov into the 13-14 final. And as a result of those times, we will have a swimmer from an earlier heat who should also qualify. We're waiting for confirmation to come through. And the swimmers in the next heat have been asked to stand down, so the result doesn't look like it's going to be confirmed just yet, so the officials will be discussing something from that previous heat. It could just be a technical problem. The result is now confirmed. No changes. Xavier Zerban with the fastest time there. Thomas Stanimirov qualifies, and actually Joe Heather's time, I think, has been changed. I think Joe Heather's time, from memory, wasn't recorded correctly at the wall, so that was a standby time for Joe Heather, and he does qualify for the final as a result for the 13s and 14s. This is heat 5. In heat 5 then, it's Tobias Brain for Mount Kelly, Oscar Earthroll for City of Brighton and Hove, Thomas Rickles for City of Liverpool, Lucas Christie for Kingston upon Hull, Benjamin Pedergill, Camden Swiss Cottage, Will Wilson for City of Leeds, Ayolo Thomas for Torfaen Dolphins, Jacob Bacon for City of Peterborough, who got a great start in this heat, Isaac Mendham for Dunmo Atlantis, and Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield. And in this heat, we have 4 15 years swimmers in lanes 8, 7, Oscar Earthroll and Thomas Rickles, and in lanes 1 and 0, Isaac Mendham and Harry Osborne. The rest of the swimmers in this heat are in the 16 years age group. Our leader is Oscar Earthroll, one of the 15 year swimmers, 2 lanes from the top of the picture. Oscar turning first at halfway then in 63.66. So Oscar Earthroll out in front. 2:13.45 is a PB for Oscar. We will know 4 more qualifiers for the 15 years final at the end of this heat. Earthroll at the final turn, 1:37.55. This looks like it's going to be in that 2:13 range again. Harry Osborne at the bottom of the screen, going well in lane 0. He was 4th at the turn, but I don't think he's 4th anymore. He had a great turn to get up and maybe ahead of Benjamin Pedergill in 5 and Lucas Christie in 6. And those 3 now closing in on Oscar Earthroll. I think we're looking at a time around 2:12, 2:13 then into the wall. Actually 2:11.67 for Benjamin Pedergill in the 16 years age group. All of the 16-year-olds will have to wait and see if their times qualify, but Benjamin is the fastest 16-year-old so far. Lucas Christie second there in 2:12.04. Oscar Earthroll qualifies for the 15-year final. Harry Osborne qualifies for the 15-year final. From earlier heats, that also means Xavier Zerban and Finley Byrne qualify. Thomas Rickles there will have to wait and see with 2:14.54. And all of those 16-year-olds will have to wait and see if they qualify. Here we go, heat 6. In Heat 6, we have Julian Okroy for Delting Dolphins, Tyler Spalding for Carnegie, Daniel Payton for Tynemouth, Callum White for City of Bristol, Mason Amiri for Whitney and District, Harry Moore for Stockport Metro, Cameron O'Donnell for South Lanarkshire, Ernest Darkin for Dulwich Dolphins, Oliver Parry for Ramsbottom, and Ben Saxby for Ramsbottom. What a start from Oliver Parry in lane 1. Flying ahead of everyone into that turn in 28.99. Second at the turn was Ben Saxby. Then Harry Moore in lane 4. So Oliver Parry out in front. Oliver does have one of the fastest PBs in this heat. He has swum under 2:10. And he's still out in front. So it's Oliver Parry, then Ben Saxby, 2 Ramsbottom teammates, first and second. And Harry Moore is third. We have 2 15-year swimmers in this final. Julian Okroy in 9 and Mason Amiri in 5. So we will have 2 swimmers qualifying for the 15 years final at the end of this heat. It's still Oliver Parry then, 1:34.07. This is going to be sub 2:10, I think, and that would mean a potential PB for Oliver Parry. His PB is 2:09.33, and also finishing strongly Harry Moore. And Harry's PB is 2:11.47. I think Harry Moore's also on for a personal best time here. And Julian Okroy is going to get in the 15-year final at the top of the screen with this swim. It's going to be Mason Amiri rather in 5, 2:08.61. It's a lifetime best by 3 seconds for Mason Amiri, who qualifies for the 15-year final with that. Julian Okroy also qualifies for the 15-year final by finishing in 2:10.78. So 2 confirmed qualifiers there for finals in lanes 3. In places 1 and 3, Mason Amiri and Julian Okroy. Callum White in the 16 years age group there, 2:13.03 at the moment. That makes him the 3rd fastest 16-year-old at the moment. We still have 10 16-year-olds to swim. And in the 17s and 18s, Oliver Parry will have to wait and see if that time qualifies. We go on to Heat 7. And the swimmers in this heat are Cody Rice for Mount Kelly, who got a great start at the top of the picture. Dexter West for Pembrokeshire County. Peter Artamenkov for Crawley. Blake Herdman for Inverclyde. Dylan Hill for Kingston upon Hull. Noah Gambroudis for City of Birmingham. Eden Rowe for Northampton. Zach Fellows for City of St Albans. Aaron Drake for Warren de Baths. And William East for Basildon and Phoenix. Cody Rice is going to turn first. Cody is a 17s, 18s swimmer in this heat. We also have swimmers in the 16-year age group. And in the 16 years age group, they are in lanes 7, 6 and 5. Peter Artamenkov, Blake Herdman and Dylan Hill. So it's Cody Rice, 62.21 at the turn. We will know 3 qualifiers for the 16 years final at the end of this heat. So from the previous heats, Benjamin Pedergil, Lucas Christian, Callum White will be watching and waiting to see what happens here. Our fastest 16-year-old at the turn is Dylan Hill, just ahead of Peter Artemenkov and then Blake Herdman. Into the final 50 metres then. And leading the way now, Peter Artemenkov. It looks like he'll be qualifying for the 16 years final with this. Blake Herdman finishing with him. The fastest time so far in the 16 years is 2:11.67, so they're both quicker than that. So Peter Artemenkov and Blake Herdman both qualify for the 16 years final with their times. Dylan Hill, 2:11.51, qualifies as well. So the three 16-year swimmers here all qualifying for their final.
Yes, they do. Artemenkov, Herdman and Hill are all.
Everybody else has to wait and see. William East in third there is the second fastest swimmer now in the 17s and 18s age group. And we still have lots of swimmers in that age group to come. 2:09.94 then the winning time, a new PB for Peter Artemenkov. Blake Herdman, 2:10.05 PB. William East, 2:10.39. That's a PB. So well done to all of those swimmers. Three of them qualifying there for their final. This is Heat 8. And the starter just telling the swimmers to stand down. So this will be a reset. And it looks like Ben Carlisle in lane 9 has a problem with the stirrup. So that is going to be changed. It will just take a few seconds to bring a spare into position, I think. And this is one of the things these swimmers need to learn. If they have a problem, they raise their hand, tell the starter there is a problem, and the starter will ask the swimmers to stand down. And a spare stirrup comes in. So this is good from Ben Carlisle, showing that he understands that if he isn't happy, he shouldn't just start the race. He should signal there is an issue. Make sure he's happy now, and we will reset for the start of Heat 8. So the swimmers are Ben Carlisle for Grantham, Harry Langford for the Royal Score Wolverhampton, Charlie Phipps for Millfield, Jack Hurry for Northampton, William Davis for Newquay Cormorants, Alfie Owen for Wigan Best, Oscar Winterburn for Team Ipswich, Harry Robinson for Reeds of Cobham, Joseph Bale for Mount Kelly, and Joshua Hill for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. And it's Charlie Phipps who's leading the way. Charlie is a 15-year swimmer, and there is another 15-year swimmer in lane 1, Joseph Bale, who turned there in 6th place. We will be confirming 2 finalists for the 15 years final then at the end of this heat. We also have 3 swimmers in the 16 years age group. Ben Carlisle at the top of the picture, William Davis in lane 5, and Harry Robinson in lane 2. So we will have 3 new qualifiers for the 16 years final after this heat, and 2 for the 15 years final. Charlie Phipps turning at 100 metres in a split time of 62.51. Second at the turn, Alfie Owen, who's a 17-18 swimmer. So these two out in front. It's Alfie Owen and Charlie Phipps, the leading 2. Alfie has a PB of 209.89 and Charlie 210.46. We're going to be getting close to that. Joseph Bale turning third, 137.56. Joshua Hill going well in lane 0. And Harry Robinson as well. Those three swimmers closest to us having a good race among themselves, I would say. And now Joshua Hill's up to clear third. So it's Alfie Owen, Charlie Phipps and Joshua Hill in that order. Alfie Owen's PB 209.89. Can he beat it? Yes, he can. 208.78. Charlie Phipps 210.17. That's a PB. Joshua Hill 210.33. That's a PB. And Jack Hurry finishing in 4th place there. So we're now looking for the 15s and the 16s for places in their finals. In the 15 years, Charlie Phipps qualifies in 210.17. Joseph Bale qualifies 213.23. In the 16 years age group, Harry Robinson qualifies with 212.55. Ben Carlisle will have to wait and see. But it does mean that Benjamin Pedergill and Lucas Christie from earlier heats are both into the 16 years final with their times from earlier heats. We have 4 heats left. We are just going to replace the stirrup in lane 9 before we start the next heats. So a slight delay while lane 9 stirrup is put in place for Archie Maguire, who will be swimming in that lane. And we're ready now for heat 9. The swimmers in Heat 9 are Archie Maguire for City of Sunderland, Martin Molnar for City of Cambridge, Finlay Dare for Corby, Harry Cox for Thanet, Reuben Thomas for Mount Kelly, Jack Arnold for Mount Kelly, Dominic Bartoletti for Repton Swimming, Conan Swinney for Derwentside and Gateshead, Elijah Dunn for Swindon Dolphin, and Ryan Close for Bedford Swim Squad. Our swimmers in this heat, we have in lane 9, Archie Maguire, who's a 15-year swimmer, and 1 Elijah Dunn, who is also a 15 years swimmer. And in lane 3, Dominic Bartoletti, who is a 16-year swimmer. At the halfway turn, it's Jack Arnold leading ahead of Martin Molnar. Elijah Dunn turning 5th, leading the 15-year swimmers there, ahead of Archie Maguire, who is 8th. Dominic Bartoletti 9th, remember, trying to qualify for the 16-year final with this swim. So it's Jack Arnold in the middle of the pool, and Martin Molnar on the far side, our leading 2. Reuben Thomas and Harry Cox in 5 and 6 coming back into this race. And Elijah Dunn in lane 1, turning in 5th. So it's Jack Arnold, who's got a PB of 207.8. And also finishing strongly, Martin Molnar, whose PB is 209.64. And Martin might even catch up here. Also, Reuben Thomas finishing very strongly in 5. The winning time is going to be Martin Molnar, 206.36, a 3.3 second PB. Jack Arnold, 206.83, that's a PB as well. Reuben Thomas, 207.63, personal best time. Elijah Dunn, 209 .03, that's a PB. So all of our first 4 swimmers there getting PBs. Then in terms of qualifying for finals, Elijah does qualify for the 15-year final. Archie Maguire also qualifies for the 15-year final in 2:13.31. Dominic Bartoletti qualifies for the 16-year final with 2:12.39. Martin Molnar, Jack Arnold have to wait and see in the 17-18-year age group. They are the fastest 17-18 swimmers so far. Our next heats will be Heat 10. And we're into circle-seeded heats now, so we've got some very fast swimmers in the middle of the pool. In Heat 10, we have Carlos Sierra Villegas for Chesterfield, Ben Harrison for City of Sheffield, Oliver Cunningham for Loughborough University, Toby Nakamura-Drew for Plymouth College Aquatics, Aidan Orpin for Sutton and Cheam, Jordan McPhail for Edinburgh University, Joseph Box for City of Birmingham, Ben Uff for Crawley, Nikolai Cisnet for City of Glasgow, and Ross Edwards for City of Cardiff. Ross Edwards is going to turn first in lane 0. And Ross does have one of the fastest PBs here. He has swum 2:04 in the past. Aidan Orpin in lane 5 in the red cap, who turned 7th there, has the fastest PB, or one of the fastest PBs as well. Jordan McPhail in 4 has swum 2:01 this season. Into the halfway turn then. And leading the way is McPhail, then Cunningham. Both McPhail and Cunningham are 19s and overs swimmers. Nikolai Cisnet, who turned there in 1:02.76 in 9th place, is a 16-year swimmer. We should know our first 4 confirmed 17-18s finalists after this heat, and our first 2 19s and overs. So it's Jordan McPhail turning first, then Oliver Cunningham, and they both look like they'll be qualifying for the 19s and over final with these swims. Carlos Sierra Villegas in 3rd. Looks like he may be qualifying for the 17s and 18s final as well. So into the final 10 metres, and our leader is Jordan McPhail. His time will put him into his final 2:02.99. Carlos Sierra Villegas 2:05.13 will qualify for the 17-18 final. Oliver Cunningham 2:05.75. I believe that qualifies for the 19s and overs final. I'll confirm that for you in a moment. The 19s and overs, actually they'll all have to wait and see if they qualify the 19s and overs. Carlos Sierra Villegas does qualify. Aidan Orpin will have to wait and see if he's in the 17-18 final, but those times do mean Martin Molnar from a previous heat with 2:06.36 is in the 17-18 final. Nikolai Cisnet there in 9th, 2:09.95 is the second fastest swimmer so far in the 16 years age group. He qualifies for the 16-year final with that time. Well done to those swimmers. We have 2 heats left. This is heat 11. Our swimmers in this heat are Finlay Richardson for Guildford City, Xander Tovey for Millfield, Dominic Simpson for Loughborough University, Jensen Owen for City of Sheffield, Benjamin Cross for City of Sheffield, Oscar Barlow for Swansea University, Finlay Bruce for Perth City, Oliver Baskerville for Hatfield, Lewis Maxwell for Derwentside and Gateshead, and Stan Sawyer for York City Baths. Stan leading then at the halfway turn in lane 0. And he is a 16 years swimmer. There are two 16 swimmers in this heat. Stan Sawyer at the bottom of the picture and two from the top of your picture who just had an enormous turn, brilliant turn, Xander Tovey. 2 lanes from the top of the picture. Our leader is Oscar Barlow, who is swimming in the 19s and overs. At the halfway turn then, Barlow in 59.59, ahead of Benjamin Cross, also a 19s and overs swimmer. Stan Sawyer still leading of the two 16-year-olds here. Xander Tovey turned 10th, but may well qualify for the 16 years final with this swim. Final turn then, it's Benjamin Cross and Oscar Barlow together. Finlay Bruce turning 3rd. He's in the 17s and 18s. And Finlay Bruce now picking up the pace, looking like he's closing in on the leading 2. 4th right now is Jensen Owen, also a 17 to 18 swimmer. Xander Tovey, 2 lanes from the top, is fighting back. And he's probably ahead of Stan Sawyer. But I think they will both qualify for the 16-year final. They need to go under 2:13.03 to do that. So they're both going to qualify. They are swimmers finishing 8th and 9th, both qualifying for the 16 years final with those times. In fact, they will be our fastest qualifiers for that final. So the two 16-year-olds finishing 8th and 9th there. They are the fastest 2 qualifiers for the 16 years final. In the 17s and 18s, Jensen Owen and Finlay Bruce both qualify. And from an earlier heat, Aidan Orpin and Ross Edwards now know they will be in the 17-18 years final. Benjamin Cross qualifies for the 19s and overs. So too does Oscar Barlow. Dominic Simpson has to wait and see, but from earlier heats, those times mean Jordan McPhail and Oliver Cunningham both qualify for the 19s and overs final, and we have 1 heat left. The final heat is heat 12. In the final heat then, it's Harvey Reid for Walsall Swim and Water Polo Club, Henry Taylor for Stockport Metro, Zach Sheriff for Wickham District, Dominic Morgan for Swansea University, Fergus Thompson for the University of Aberdeen, Toby Godsell for Bath Performance Centre, Oliver Davis Tootill for City of Sheffield, Jamie Gray for University of Bath, Edward Markle Whittles for Chelsea and Westminster, and Jonathan Ireland for Maidenhead. First to turn was Toby Godsall, 28.56 ahead of Fergus Thompson. Those two swimmers are both in the 19s and overs, and swimmers in this final heat are only in 2 age groups, the 19s and overs, Godsall and Thompson. Also in 6, Dominic Morgan, 2, Jamie Gray, and 1, Edward Markle Whittles, and in lane 9, Harvey Reid. Under 60 seconds again at the halfway turn then. It's Fergus Thompson in 59.36 and Toby Godsall in 59.42. There's 17s and 18s in this heat. There are 4 of them. In 8 and 7, Henry Taylor and Zach Sheriff. In 3, Oliver Davis Tootill. And in lane 0, Jonathan Ireland. So in the final heat, this is the final turn. Only 0.04 of a second between Fergus Thompson and Toby Godsall then. Dominic Morgan third. And we're into the final 25 metres. It's going to be Toby Godsall. Fastest time so far was 2:02.99. Toby Godsall's time 2:01.47, so he qualifies for the final. Fergus Thompson 2:02.09. They are going to be side by side again in the final. They're the fastest two qualifiers for the 19 years and overs. It'll be Toby Godsall in 4 in the final. Fergus Thompson again in lane 5 in the final. In terms of the other age groups, well, let's go through, let's confirm. Jamie Gray and Dominic Morgan both qualify for the 19 years final with those times. Edward Markle Whittles will miss out. Dominic Simpson and Lewis Maxwell from earlier heats qualify for the 19 years final. In the 17s and 18s, Zach Sheriff qualifies there with 2:07.15, but Oliver Davis Tutor won't make it. From earlier heats, Jack Arnold, Joseph Box and Ruben Thomas, I think, are all in. So that completes the men's 200 metres backstroke heats. And our next event is women's 400 metres individual medley. There are 10 heats and 7 swimmers competing in heat 1. The swimmers in heat 1 are Matilda Wilson for Morpeth, Emily Taylor for South Lanarkshire, Serenity Thomas for Nothia Gwynedd Performance, Libby Hadlington for the Royal School Wolverhampton, Martha Rickard for Bromley, Anna Collins for Guildford City, and Lily Eden for City of Sunderland. 2 swimmers in this heat are in the 16 years age group. In 5 and 4, Serenity Thomas and Libby Hadlington. And the rest of the swimmers are 13s and 14s competitors. It's 2 lengths of the pool of each stroke. So 2 lengths of butterfly, and the swimmers have their individual strengths. There will be, I promise you, an excellent breaststroker among these swimmers who will come right back into this swim later on. But the strongest butterflyer in this heat is Anna Collins. And Anna is a 13-year swimmer, but she won't turn 13 until September, so she's actually 12 years old competing in this heat. One of the youngest swimmers at these Next Gen Championships. So that's an excellent 100 fly from Anna Collins. Matilda Wilson is second at the moment. Emily Taylor looks like she is going to move up to second. She's in lane 6 on this backstroke. And halfway through backstroke, you're allowed to turn onto your front and tumble turn. The rule is once you're on your front, the only movements you can make are to be part of the turn. It's a slightly complicated way of explaining it, but you're not allowed to then turn onto your front and swim freestyle. You just must turn onto your front, and once you're on your front, you can only make movements that are part of the turn. And then the difference between the backstroke to backstroke turn and backstroke to breaststroke is you must touch with your hand while you are still on your back. Once you've touched the wall with your hand, you can pretty much do what you like until you push off. And once you push off, you must be on your front. So you see swimmers do a tumble turn, but they must touch with their hand before they do that tumble turn. And not everybody does a tumble turn. Some touch the wall and swivel round. So all of those swimmers will have practiced. They will know what worked for them best in terms of transitioning from backstroke to breaststroke. Our leader is still Anna Collins now. Emily Taylor in second, but Matilda Wilson on breaststroke moving up into second. And I would say Matilda Wilson is the fastest breaststroker in there at the moment. Maybe Martha Rickard, who is in lane 3. And we'll get an idea of that when we see the splits. We'll get confirmation of just who is swimming the quickest. Anna Collins turning first, but Matilda Wilson was the quickest of those first 4 swimmers. And Martha Rickard swimming quickly as well. Lily Eden in lane 1. She turned 5th there. You can't see her at the moment in your picture, but she is swimming quickly on breaststroke. So Lily Eden, you'll just see her now creeping into the picture bottom right. She is coming back into this race. Lily Eden swimming very well on the breaststroke here in 7th place. 6th place rather, 6th place. We turn now from breaststroke to freestyle. And who's going to be first at the turn? It is Matilda Wilson, but Martha Rickard was actually the quickest of everybody in the breaststroke. Rickard 3rd. Libby Hadlington turning 4th. And we are coming up now to the final turn. So leading Anna Collins, 2nd Matilda Wilson, 3rd Martha Rickard. In 4th, I think it's Lily Eden now. 5th, it looks like Emily Taylor, followed by Libby Hadlington. And then Serenity Thomas. That's the order. And we're into the last 30 metres now. And it's Anna Collins who led from the butterfly. Anna's PB is 5:18.20. Matilda Wilson's PB, 5:18.22. We're going quicker than that for both swimmers. New PB then for our heat winner, Anna Collins, 5:13.34. Almost a 5-second PB. Matilda Wilson with a 2-second PB. Well done, Martha Rickard. 5:17.48 in 3rd place. Then it's Lily Eden, Emily Taylor, Libby Hadlington and Serenity Thomas. They finish in that order. So some good swims there, especially for our first 2 swimmers with personal best times. Anna Collins, 5:13.34, which might challenge for a place in the 13-14 final. We'll keep an eye on that. Anna Collins from Heat 1 and Matilda Wilson with 5:16.10. We'll wait and see if they qualify for their finals. It depends on other swimmers' performances. Here we go with Heat 2. In this heat, we have Willow Wright for City of Leeds, Grace Taylor for Alford Otters, Autumn Claxton for Stockport Metro. And Autumn is off to a really good start on this butterfly. Emma Hill for Teddington, Chloe Gent for City of Leicester, Matilda Bassingdale for Portsmouth North Sea, Vivian Wilkinson for Wirral Metro, Olivia Knox for Wigan Best, Emma Cushion for City of Peterborough, and Addison Cropper for City of Leeds. Actually, lane 2 is empty, so no swimmer in lane 2. Autumn Claxton first at the turn in 30.92, then Emma Cushion in 31.45. And in 3rd place, it is Emma Hill in the white cap. 4th at the moment, Chloe Gent. And I would say 5th at the moment, Matilda Bassingdale. So we turn from butterfly to backstroke. And it's Autumn Claxton, then Emma Hill, Emma Cushion, Chloe Gent, Matilda Bassingdale, Addison Cropper, Vivian Wilkinson, Grace Taylor, and then Willow Wright at that turn. Willow Wright in lane 9 at the top of the picture is a 13-14 swimmer, and so is Addison Cropper at the bottom of the screen in lane 0. Willow on the far side is another one of our 12-year-old swimmers She won't have her 13th birthday until the second half of the year. So still 12 years old. Turning in at the halfway point in backstroke, it's Emma Cushion now leading ahead of Autumn Claxton and Matilda Bassindale. And Emma, by far the quickest backstroke swimmer at the moment. I reckon she could be 3 or 4 seconds quicker than most of the swimmers in this heat, judging by her pace. So she really is going to open up a big lead. Emma then turning from backstroke to breaststroke. So it's Cushion, then Autumn Claxton, then Matilda Bassindale, Chloe Gent, Addison Cropper, Grace Taylor, Emma Hill, Willow Wright and Vivian Wilkinson. Emma Cushion with a higher stroke rate, more strokes per length of the pool than Grace Taylor, for instance. If you look at Grace Taylor at the top of the screen, a long glide from Grace. I would say that Emma's probably getting 1.5 strokes to every one from from Autumn Claxton rather, who's in second. So different ways of swimming breaststroke. Coming through now in the middle of the pool in 4 and 5, Matilda Bassindale and Chloe Gent. At the moment, our leader is Emma Cushion, and from the previous heat, I would say that Anna Collins would probably be second at this stage from this heat. So from the previous heat, Anna Collins and Matilda Wilson will be watching closely here, because they might well be in the top 2 and 3 for 13s and 14s in the rankings after this heat, and then waiting to see in the next heat, when we start to guarantee swimmers places in the final, we'll find out who is there. Emma Cushion's a 16-year swimmer, 4:37.59 at that turn. Emma Cushion is going to be very, very close to her personal best time. Emma's PB is 5:15.94. Chloe Gent and Matilda Bassindale, 16-year swimmers as well, coming through strongly at the end here. And Grace Taylor finishing strongly in the 13s and 14s. To the wall, Emma Cushion, 5:14.22. It's a new PB. Matilda Bassindale, 5:17.18. Chloe Gent, 5:17.55. And also 5:17.55 for Grace Taylor. And that means that from Heat 1, Anna Collins is still our leading 13-14 swimmer. We won't have anybody guaranteed a place in the finals for any age groups just yet. That will happen after the next heat. But Anna Collins from Heat 1 is still our fastest swimmer with 5:13.34. That time would have won Heat 2. And that really puts into context how brilliant the swim was for Anna Collins. We're waiting for confirmation of this result. Hopefully the delay is just for something technical. Let's see. Yes, all of those swimmers' times are confirmed. So Emma Cushion in the 16 years age group, the new leader in the 16 years age group. Nobody qualifies yet. Anna Collins still the fastest swimmer so far in 13s and 14s. Grace Taylor there is fourth fastest for 13s and 14s so far. We go on to heat 3, where we will start confirming qualifiers for finals. And in heat 3, a great start in lane 0 for Orna Lett. The swimmers are Annie Falkus for Morpeth, Emily Taburn for Warrington Warriors, Millie Linton for Borough of Stockton Swim Scheme, Evie Armstrong for Dunstable, Isla Stewart for City of Peterborough, Jessica Stafford for Wickham District, Emma Tooley for City of Milton Keynes, Emily Wade for Leyland Barracudas, Evie Young for Mount Kelly, and Orna Lett for Northampton. And at the first turn, the first swimmer to the wall was Orna Lett in lane 0. Millie Linton off to a good start as well here. We have 3 13-14 swimmers. Annie Falkus at the top of the picture in lane 9. Lane 6, Evie Armstrong. And in lane 4, Jessica Stafford. It's Evie Young turning first in 68.13. Second at the turn, Orna Lett, 68.43. Anna Collins was 68.09 in heat 1 after the butterfly. So just bear that in mind, that Anna Collins from heat 1 would still be right up with the leaders. And now on the backstroke, we have Millie Linton leading the way. Millie turning then in 147.59. Second at the turn, Annie Falkus in the 13-14 age group. Third, Orna Lett. Then it was Evie Young turning in 4th. And now we turn from backstroke to breaststroke, the halfway point in the 400 metres individual medley. Millie Linton, 2:26.08 at the turn. Second, Annie Falkus in the 13-14 age group. I think Anna Collins from heat 1 is going to make it into the 13-14 final. Unless 13-14 swimmers in this heat come roaring back. It does depend on the performances from Evie Armstrong in 6 and Jessica Stafford in 4. Halfway through breaststroke then, it's Millie Linton. Next to turn, Emma Tooley. Annie Falkus in 3rd now. Emily Wade and Evie Young with the same split time there, 3:16.13. Then it's Jessica Stafford, Isla Stewart. Millie Linton still looking good here. And Matilda Wilson from heat 1 might also qualify for the final. They will both be watching, Anna Collins and Matilda Wilson, and wondering if they're going to make it through. On to freestyle then, and it's Millie Linton leading the way, followed by Emma Tooley, and then Emily Wade. After this heat, we should have 3 swimmers guaranteed places in the 13-14 final. Our leaders, though, Emma Tooley is in the 16 years age group, Millie Linton in the 17s and 18s, and we're looking at PB times potentially of 5:13 or better for both of the leaders. So let's get under 5:13. Jessica Stafford also finishing strongly, trying to get under 5:13 as well. Watch the clock then. Under 5:13 is a PB for these swimmers. So Emma Tooley, 5:10.66. That's a great swim. Millie Linton also under 5:13 PB. Jessica Stafford, PB, 5:11.82. Evie Young, 5:12.57. Personal best time for Evie. Emily, season's best time rather. Emily Wade, 5:13.84. That's a good swim for her. And Annie Fulkus, 5:14.25. Let's see, we'll have 3 swimmers qualify for the 13-14 final now. They are Jessica Stafford and Annie Fulkus from that heat. Anna Collins from heat 1 is guaranteed to qualify as well now. Evie Armstrong, 5:19.77. You have to wait and see, but I don't think that will be quick enough. It might be. On to heat 4. In heat 4, we have Chloe Grosvenor for City of Birmingham, Lucy Hunter for South Lanarkshire, Minnie Wilkinson for Wickham District, Isla Thierd for Camden Swiss Cottage, Amy Jones for Leatherhead, Holly Gent, City of Leicester, Louise Lavina for Willesden Rapids, Rin Mayo for Camden Swiss Cottage, Eve Hibbert for City of Sheffield, and Lucy Raper for Morpeth. Out in front on the butterfly, Amy Jones for Leatherhead. And second at the turn, Minnie Wilkinson. In this heat, we have 16-year swimmers in lanes 5 and 1. Amy Jones, the leader, and Eve Hibbert. And we have 13-14 swimmers in 7, 6, and 2. Minnie Wilkinson, Isla Thied, and Rin Mayo. We also have 15 swimmers in 4 and 0, Holly Gent and Lucy Raper. Amy Jones leading. Now, Amy won a bronze on 100 metres backstroke this week, so she may well improve her lead on this next 100. Minnie Wilkinson in second place, had a silver medal in the 13-14's 200 metres individual medley this week. So Amy Jones, let's have a look. Has she increased her lead? 145.5. Yes, she has increased it by a second or so over Minnie Wilkinson. Amy, by far the quickest backstroker in the pool then. And we would expect that 2.5 second lead to increase then before we get on to breaststroke. So we turn from back to breast. It's Amy Jones. And she turns there in 2:23.17. The gap now 4 seconds between first and second. Then it's Chloe Grosvenor, Lucy Raper, Holly Gent, Lucy Hunter, Eve Hibbert, Rin Mayo, Louise Lavina and Isla Thied. In that order at the backstroke to breaststroke turn. Minnie Wilkinson now looks like she is closing the gap. Remember, it was 4 seconds at the last turn. And Minnie is a 13-14 swimmer. Both Minnie and Amy, the leading two here, trying to qualify for their respective finals. And they look like they will both manage to do that with these swims. the gap note down to 0.41 of a second. So Minnie Wilkinson now taking the lead on the breaststroke, and Chloe Grosvenor also swimming well on the breaststroke. Eve Hibbert in lane 1, she turned 6 there, but she is coming through. 2 lanes in the bottom of the picture. She is the quickest breaststroker of everyone in the pool at the moment, and now she is up to 4th place. So Eve Hibbert having a really good breaststroke leg here. Coming through the field, 2 lanes from the bottom of the screen. Minnie Wilkinson will turn from breast to freestyle first. And her split time, 3:55.73. So we're looking at something around 5:10 maybe for Minnie Wilkinson, and her PB is 5:11. So I think Minnie Wilkinson could be looking at a personal best time here. Amy Jones second, and Chloe Grosvenor now swimming very well in 9. Minnie Wilkinson turning there in 4:30.65. So we're looking at the clock then. This may well be sub 5:10 for Minnie Wilkinson, which would be a PB. Her PB 5:11.49 seconds. Minnie Wilkinson, she's going to qualify for the 13-14 final for sure. It's going to be a huge PB. 5:11.49 was her previous best. Look at this, 5:05.31. Brilliant. Amy Jones 5:10.24, and that will qualify for the 16 years final for sure. It's a PB as well for Amy Jones. Eve Hibbert 5:11.00, and for Eve Hibbert that is also a personal best time. In terms of qualifiers for finals then, let's have a check, because we will have final qualifiers for 13s, 14s, for 15s and 16s confirmed by this result. So 3 finals will have swimmers confirmed. It all depends on the official result, of course. But we should get 3 swimmers qualifying for the 13-14 final. It'll be a mixture of the swimmers from that heat and from previous heats. We'll be able to tell you about 3 more swimmers qualifying for 13-14 final. And we should be able to tell you about 2 swimmers qualifying for the 16 years final. Everyone else will have to wait and see. So in terms of 13s and 14s, Minnie Wilkinson qualifies. From earlier heats, Matilda Wilson and Martha Rickard qualify. We've got a disqualification there for Holly Gent. So she won't be in the running in the 15 years final. In the 16 years though, Amy Jones qualifies. Emma Tooley from an earlier heat qualifies. From that heat, Eve Hibbert and Chloe Grosvenor have to wait and see. Next is heat 5. In Heat 5, we have Grace O'Hara, City of Leeds, Evie Cutter for Wigan Best, Amaya Waters for Harrogate District, Aurelia Vavishnevich for Repton Swimming, Jemima Da Silva for Camden Swiss Cottage, Abby Coventry for Morpeth, Sophie Smith for City of Sheffield, Chloe Jones for Warrington Warriors, Naomi Broadley for City of Wakefield, and Ella Smith for Borough of Stockton Swim Scheme. Abby Coventry turning first in 32.04. And second at that turn was Aurelia Vavishnevich for Repton. And at the turn from fly to back, first to the wall, Evie Cutter. Second, Aurelia Vavasinovic. And third, Abby Coventry. In this heat, we have 13-14 swimmers in lanes 9 and 2. We have 15 years swimmers, in 9 and 2, that's Grace O'Hara and Chloe Jones. We have 15 swimmers in 7, 5, 4 and 3. Amaya Waters, Jemima Da Silva, Abby Coventry and Sophie Smith. And we have 16-year swimmer Naomi Broadley in lane 1. From back to breast, it's Aurelia Vavasinovic leading, 2:26.68. Second at that turn then was Abby Coventry for Morpeth. And Abby Coventry looks like she is on course for a place in the 15 years final. Halfway through the breaststroke leg, and it's Aurelia Vavasinovic leading the way.
17, 18 years entry.
Vavasinovic leading on breaststroke now as well. We have strong breaststroke swimmer at the top of the screen, Grace O'Hara in the 13s and 14s coming back. She looks like she'll get up into the top 4 maybe by the time we get to this turn. And into freestyle we go with Vavasinovic in 3:58.58 leading. And now second and third is a tussle between Amaya Waters and Evie Cutter. So Vavasinovic turning in 4:34.9, and then it's Cutter and then Waters. Waters turning there in 4:37.71, which is going to be a possible pace for qualifying for the 15 years final. Into the final 15 metres, and Aurelia Vavasinovic is leading the way. Finishing strongly, Evie Cutter. Vavasinovic 5:10.13. Evie Cutter 5:11.45. Amaya Waters 5:11.51. Ella Smith 5:14.94. So we will confirm 2 more swimmers in the 13s and 14s final when we get these results confirmed. Here we go. Grace O'Hara, who finished in 8th place there, qualifies for the 13s and 14s final. Grace Taylor from an earlier heat also qualifies as a result of those times. Amaya Waters qualifies for the 15 years final, but Abby Coventry will have to wait and see. And as a result of those times, Eve Hibbert from an earlier heat gets into the 16 years final. Everybody else has to wait to find out if they qualify for their finals. Here is heat 6. The swimmers in Heat 6 are Rosie Grosvenor for City of Birmingham, Alana Maddock for Eastleigh, Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College Swimming Academy, Isla Coletta for Repton, Evangeline Belts for Plymouth College Aquatics, Millie Searle for Gary, Ava Smith for Gary, Fruka Ludwig for Loughborough University, Emmy Aitken for University of Aberdeen Performance, and Sophie King for Mount Kelly. First of the turn there is Joanne Andrews, who won the silver medal last year in 200 metres butterfly at these championships and a bronze in 400 metres individual medley. And now it looks like a new leader, Fruka Ludwig, in lane 2. It's certainly between Ludwig and Andrews as we go from butterfly to backstroke. Ludwig does get to the wall first in 66.54 seconds. And it's Fruka Ludwig now leading the way. Ludwig and then Joanne Andrews. Into the wall then, Ludwig, and we'll get an idea now of whether she's managed to increase her lead on backstroke. She has, but the fastest swimmer among the rest on this backstroke leg is Isla Coletta, who's now in 4th at that turn in lane 6, but moving up, I would say possibly to 2nd now. Isla Coletta in lane 6. And Isla won a bronze medal earlier this week in 200 metres individual medley. We have 3 places available in the 15 years final after this heat. Lane 9, Rosie Grosvenor is a 15-year swimmer. Lane 4, Millie Searle, a 15-year swimmer. And lane 3, Ava Smith. Millie Searle in 4, I would say, is the outstanding breaststroker here. So Millie Searle turning there in 7th. And let's see what happens. She's got the blue cap on in the middle of the pool. So Millie Searle, we would expect to come surging through here. And it looks like Evangeline Belts is going to do the same. So keep an eye on those two in the middle. Millie Searle and Evangeline Belts, as Fruka Ludwig leads. We have a 16-year-old swimmer in this heat, Joanne Andrews. So Ludwig leading the way, 3:07.54. And Millie Searle was up to 6th at that turn. I think Millie Searle is certainly up to 5th now. And we change from breaststroke to freestyle now. And Sophie King for Mount Kelly, lane 0 is up to 2nd. So it's Ludwig and then King. 3:53.2 at the turn. We should be under 5:10 for the winning times in this heat. And we'll definitely have a couple of PBs. Some very strong swims here. So it's Fruka Ludwig and Sophie King. 3rd at the turn will be Joanne Andrews. And Joanne looks like she's qualifying for the 16 years final with this swim. So it's Fruka Ludwig, but now Sophie King leading into the last 20 metres. Fruka Ludwig's PB is 5:04.69. or rather Sophie King's is 5:04.69, and into the wall we go, and it is 5:04.69 exactly. Wow. An exact PB equaling time for Sophie King. Second there was Fruka Ludwig, 5:05.69, and third Joanne Andrews, 5:06.7. Joanne Andrews qualifies for the 16 years final with that time. Lucy Raper from an earlier heat will qualify for the 15 years final as a result of those times. Millie Searle qualifies, Rosie Grosvenor qualifies, but Ava Smith will have to wait and see. And everybody else in that heat has to wait and see if they qualify. On to heat 7. 9 swimmers in this heat. So the swimmers in heat 7, they are Lydia Shipley in lane 9, Chloe Butler in lane 8 for Norwich Swan, Lydia Shipley I should say for Middlesbrough, Charlotte Cope for Guildford City, Amelia Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Niamh Savoury for Newcastle Swim Team, Ellie Hull for City of Birmingham is not swimming, so that's the empty lane in 4, Summer Everson for Watford, Olivia Quiller for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua, and Kayla Wimble for Guildford City. So it's Amelia Fenner leading the way on butterfly. And Amelia did win a silver medal this week in 200 fly. Second at the turn is Chloe Butler in 1:06.95. And third into the wall there was Summer Everson. Fourth, Kayla Wimble. So in terms of age groups and potential qualifiers for finals, in lane 9, 4 and 2, we have 15-year swimmers. Lydia Shipley, Ellie Hull in this race, sorry. So only in 9 and 2, that's Lydia Shipley and Olivia Quiller. Then we have a 16-year swimmer in lane 6, our leader, Amelia Fenner. In 17s and 18s age groups, in 5, 3, 1 and 0, Niamh Savoury, Summer Everson, Lily Rose Carr and Kayla Wimble. And in the 19s and overs, Charlotte Cope and Chloe Butler. At the end of this heat, we would expect to know 7 more finalists across various age groups. And that will be a combination of swimmers from this heat and previous heats. So 7 more places in finals should be confirmed at the end of this heat. Amelia Fenner now on the breaststroke leading, followed by Summer Everson. And in lane 1, Lily Rose Carr. And Lily Rose has got a good record in 200 metres individual medley in the past. 2 lanes from the top of the picture, Chloe Butler, who's an excellent breaststroke swimmer. So she's coming back into this. The fastest swimmer out there at the moment is Olivia Quiller. And maybe Charlotte Cope, who's actually 9th. Olivia Quiller was 6th at that turn and Charlotte Cope were 9th. And those 2 swimmers in lanes 2 and 7, respectively, are swimming quicker than anyone else here on breaststroke. So they're getting back into this race from 6th and 9th at that last turn. We're going from breaststroke now to freestyle. It's Fenner just behind Everson, 5/100ths of a second between them. And then Lily Rose Carr. Amelia Fenner then in the 16 years age group. And Amelia's target time to qualify for her final would be 5:14.22. Second then Summer Everson, who's in the 17s and 18s. No matter what happens, she'll have to wait and see if she qualifies for the final after later heats. And the same goes for Lily Rose Carr at the bottom of the screen. But Amelia Fenner then, 5:14.22 would qualify her for the 16 years final, so she does that with ease. And her time of 5:00.84 is a season's best, only half a second outside her PB. So we could be in for a special swim for Amelia in the final. Summer Everson, 5:01.55. She'll have to wait and see with that one. So will Lily Rose Carr. Chloe Butler in the 19s and overs, finishing there in 5:08.03, qualifies for her final. Charlotte Cope qualifies as well. Evangeline Belt qualifies from an earlier heat. Amelia Fenner then qualifies. And in the 15 years, Lydia Shipley qualifies with 5:09.19. Olivia Quiller qualifies as well. And from an earlier heat, that all means that Abby Coventry is also in the 15 years final. On to heat 8. In this heat, we have Erin Perman for Exeter City, Lexi O'Connor for Basildon and Phoenix, Millie Threlfall for City of Leeds, Ruby Stevenson for Swansea University, Sadie Hunter for City of Peterborough, Chloe Barnard for Basildon and Phoenix, Martina Karabach for Camden Swiss Cottage, Scarlett Davey for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, then the empty lane, lane 1, and in lane 0 is Sophia Gledhill. Leading at the first turn was Scarlett Davey in 30.64. And second now in lane 3, Martina Karabach. I think Martina might actually be leading. From fly to back then. It's Karabach, followed by Sadie Hunter, then Chloe Barnard, Sophia Gledhill, Scarlett Davey, Ruby Stevenson, Erin Perman, Millie Threlfall and Lexi O'Connor. We have one 16-year swimmer in this heat, Erin Perman, in lane 9 on the far side of the pool. We have 5 17s, 18s in 7, 5, 4 and 3 and 2. Millie Threlfall, Sadie Hunter, Chloe Barnard, Martina Karabach and Scarlett Davey. And 19s and overs, 3 of them competing. Lexi O'Connor in 8, Ruby Stevenson in 6 and Sophia Gledhill in 0. It's Martina Karabach leading the way. So Martina, 2:17.99. And second at that turn, Chloe Barnard, 2:21.43. And Barnard now in lane 4 looks to be closing the gap. It's Karabach, then Barnard and Ruby Stevenson in lane 6 coming into contention now. Also Sadie Hunter in lane 5. Let's have a look at the splits. Karabach's lead has been cut by almost 4 seconds. Ruby Stevenson swimming very quickly now, and Scarlett Davy in lane 2. She turned 7th there, but she is swimming brilliantly on this breaststroke. So it's Ruby Stevenson in 6 and Scarlett Davy in 2 who are swimming the quickest on this breaststroke. And Stevenson really closing the gap on Karabach. Stevenson may well turn first here from breast to freestyle. She does. 3:51.29 then at that turn. I think Ruby Stevenson was about 8 seconds quicker than Martina Karabach over that 100 breaststroke. Chloe Barnard turning third. Then it's Scarlett Davy, Millie Threlfall, Lexi O'Connor, Sophia Gledhill, Sadie Hunter and Erin Perman. Erin Perman in 10th at the moment, but may well qualify for the 16 years final. Karabach now leading. Stevenson still second. Millie Threlfall up to third. And Millie Threlfall is the quickest freestyle swimmer in there. Third at the moment. She's coming back. Millie Threlfall, yellow cap. 3 lanes from the top of the screen. She could still catch Ruby Stevenson in the last 15. But Martina Karabach is going to win the heat. She's got a PB of 5:03.25. And she beats it 5:01.03. Millie Threlfall does get to the wall before Ruby Stevenson. 5:03.63. A season's best for Millie. Ruby Stevenson 5:03.70. That is a personal best. Chloe Barnard 5:05 finishing in 4th. We'll have a qualifier for the 16 years final. Erin Perman finishing in 8th place there, but she qualifies for the 16 years final. In the 17s and 18s, Martina Karabach qualifies. Millie Threlfall will have to wait and see. So will Chloe Barnard. In the 19s and overs there, Ruby Stevenson, Sophia Gledhill and Lexi O'Connor all qualify for their final. Heat 9, 2 heats left. The swimmers in Heat 9 are Alice Harper for Millfield, Matilda Boyce for Bracknell and Wokingham, Hazel Ann Carter for Wickham District, Emily England Hall for City of Leeds, Rose O'Brien for Portsmouth Northsea, Katie Lee for City of Salford, Petra Varga for Wirral Metro, Chloe Bound for University of Stirling, Eleanor Broughton for Stockport Metro and Darcy Platts for City of Leicester. Lane 1 is Eleanor Broughton turning second behind Chloe Bound there. And in lane 3, Petra Varga right up with the leaders. It's possible that all 10 of these swimmers here could qualify for their finals. We could have 10 qualifiers for finals from this heat. We have a 16-year swimmer on the far side, Alice Harper. We have 2 15-year swimmers in lanes 8 and 5, Matilda Boyce and Rose O'Brien. We have a 13-14 swimmer in 6, Emily England Hall. We have 17s and 18s in 7, 4, 3 and 0, a Hazel Ann Carter, Katie Lee, Petra Varga and Darcy Platts. And in the 19s and over, Chloe Bound and Eleanor Broughton. So 10 potential qualifiers for finals here. Lane 3, Petra Varga leading halfway through backstroke ahead of Katie Lee. Katie Lee was actually slightly quicker on that first 50 of backstroke. And these two leaders are moving away from the rest at the moment. Petra and Katie are both in the 17-18 age group. In third at the moment is Eleanor Broughton in the 19s and overs. Fourth, it looks like Matilda Boyce, who's a 15-year swimmer, the only, well, one of two 15-year swimmers in this heat. So it's Katie Lee and then Petra Varga, followed by Eleanor Broughton, Matilda Boyce. Chloe Boundler's fifth there. Then it's Rose O'Brien, Darcy Platts, Emily England Hall, Hazel Ann Carter and Alice Harper. Katie Lee now out in front. And she'll turn here in 3:05.12, which I reckon is on course for about 5:02, 5:03 for our leader, Katie Lee. And that would definitely qualify for the 19s and overs. 17s and 18s final. That would get in there, 5:02, 5:03, something like that. We would expect to qualify. Petra Varga in second. And Eleanor Broughton is on her way to the 19s and overs final. She's third at the moment. Let's keep an eye on the 15-year swimmers at this turn then. 8th, Matilda Boyce. 9th, Rose O'Brien. Turning in 3:55 and 3:57 there. Remember, there is one heat to come after this. It's Katie Lee in 4:23.30. And we might actually get close to 5 minutes now, the way Katie Lee is swimming this freestyle leg. Eleanor Broughton is up to second place. Matilda Boyce is going strongly in the 15 years age group in lane 8. Into the wall then. It's going to be the fastest 17-18's time so far. 4:57.33 for Katie Lee. Into the final she goes. Eleanor Broughton 5:01.14. She'll qualify for her final. Petra Varga 5:01.68. Let's start by looking at Emily England Hall, who was fifth there, 5:02.79. So Emily England Hall in fifth qualifies for the 13-14 final. In the 15 years age group there, Rose O'Brien, Matilda Boyce both qualify for their final, first and second fastest. Alice Harper in the 16 years will qualify. In the 17th, 18s, Katie Lee, Petra Varga, Hazel Ann Carter qualified. Darcy Platts has to wait and see. And also from that heat, Eleanor Broughton and Chloe Bound qualify for 19s and overs. This is the final heat. And we have 8 swimmers in the final heat. They are Willow Harrison for City of Sheffield, Ivy Haggerty for Thanet, Alice Forrest for Derwentsside and Gateshead, Jasmine Hall for Basildon and Phoenix, Holly Hotwood for Guildford City, Abby Roscoe for Wirral Metro, Lois Child for Harrogate District, and Olivia Robinson for City of Birmingham. Three swimmers in this heat are 16-year-olds. That's Jasmine Hall in 6, Lois Child in 3, and Olivia Robbins in 2. And the rest of these swimmers are in the 17-18 age group. So we now know Lexi O'Connor and Charlotte Cope will also qualify for the 19s and overs final from earlier heats. Abby Roscoe leading then, 64.79 from butterfly to backstroke. And Abby has won a silver medal in 200 fly this week. Fly and freestyle would be her strong elements of the IM. Jasmine Hall is second. Jasmine also a strong freestyle swimmer. Third at the moment looks like Lois Childs in lane 3. Or Lois Child, I should say. And Lois is also strong on the freestyle. So these leaders, when it comes to the final leg, are going to have quite a race. I feel this heat's just slightly faster than the previous heats. Let's have a look at the splits. Abby Roscoe 2:22.90. In fact, that's exactly the same time that Katie Lee had turning from backstroke to breaststroke in the previous heat. So we're pretty much exactly the same pace as the previous heat. Now the strong breaststroke swimmers here are Alice Forrest in 7, Holly Hopwood in 5, and Olivia Robbins in 2. And you can see Holly Hopwood certainly coming back into this in lane 5. She's up to 3rd now. So it's Roscoe, Hall, and then Hopwood. Hopwood and Robbins, the fastest two on the breaststroke at the moment. Hopwood up to 2nd. Robbins, the nearest swimmer to us there. She's 7th at the moment, but she's swimming as fast as anybody else here on the breaststroke, so she's closing in on everyone in front of her. And Holly Hopwood may even turn first from breast to freestyle. Here we go then. The final change of stroke. Roscoe is just ahead by 0.27 of a second. Then it's Jasmine Hall, Lois Child, Ivy Haggerty, Alice Forrest, Olivia Robbins, and Willow Harrison. Our leader here is Abby Roscoe, and she's heading for the 17-18 final. Second, Holly Hopwood, also on the way to the 17-18 final.
So there's 2 races in one here, really, for the lanes in finals. Top, you've got the 17-18 year final.
And we've also got swimmers fighting for places in the 16 years final. Remember, in 6 with Jasmine Hall. Jasmine's going to qualify. In 3, Lois Child, I think, is going to qualify, but Olivia Robbins will have to wait until we see what time she sets. So, first to the wall then, who will it be? It's very close. 1/10 of a second between them. Holly Hopwood in 4:55.97. And then Abby Roscoe 4:56.07. They both qualify for the 17-18 final. Lois Child, 5 minutes 0.63. She'll be into the 16 years final. Let's check out the qualifiers for the 16 years first, starting with Lois Child. So Lois is the fastest qualifier. Jasmine Hall also qualifies. Olivia Robbins does qualify for the 16 years final. In the 17s and 18s, Holly Hopwood qualifies, Abby Roscoe qualifies, Alice Forrest qualifies, Ivy Haggerty qualifies. And it also means Millie Threlfall from an earlier heat qualifies for her final. So there we go. That wraps up the women's 400 metres individual medley. We have a swim-off now. Women's 100 metres freestyle. 4 swimmers in the pool, and there are 2 different swim-offs taking place here, so that's why there will be an empty lane between them. So 2 swim-offs. On the far side, it's Zoe Rogers and Sadie Roberts. They are swimming in Sadie Roberts and Zoe Rogers are swimming for a place in the final for the 16 years age group. That's on the far side. And on the near side, Sadie Roberts and Zoe Rogers are swimming. They were tied for 12th place in their age group. So the key race here is on the far side. Sadie Roberts and Zoe Rogers. They both swam 59.18 in the heats. Only one of them will qualify for the final. And it's going to be Sadie Roberts, I think. 59.18 the time to beat here for Sadie Roberts. She qualifies 58.02. But the great thing is both Sadie and Zoe Rogers swam 58, swimming quicker than they did in the heats. But look at that. We have a tie again between Emily Taylor and Sophia Simonis. So they are still tied for 12th place in the 13s and 14s. Absolutely brilliant. 59.96. Well, the first thing to say is they both swam under 60 seconds for personal best times. And we may have to have another swim-off. They would have been the 5th fastest qualifiers with those times for the final. So Emily Taylor and Sophia Simonis, absolutely brilliant. We may well see them again at the end of this session to determine who gets 12th place, or they may settle for a tie of 12th. There is time at the end of the session potentially for another swim, so if it happens, we will bring it to you. 59.96, a second tie in the swim-off. Sadie Roberts will be in her final as a result of that. She'll be in the 16 years final. Next event in the pool is men's 50 metres freestyle. The starter just testing the starting signal as we've swapped ends of the pool. We will have 10 heats of men's 50 metres freestyle, and in heat 1 we have 10 swimmers. In heat 1, it's Jacob Wood, Kai Bradford, Alfie Penfold, Dominic Wright, Joshua Hutchinson, Ivan Ijamoni, Ethan Knights, Rowan Brennan, Thomas Navarro-Barber and Bjorn Sebastian Ayen. And leading the way then in the middle of the pool in lane 5 is Joshua Hutchinson. We have some para swimmers as well here swimming for points. Joshua Hutchinson in the 15 years age group, 25.31 with that swim. So Joshua Hutchinson, 25.31. That's a big PB for him. And we will have qualifiers for sure with those points totals for the mixed classification final. So Alfie Penfold, Rowan Brennan, Thomas Navarro-Barber, Kai Bradford, Bjorn Sebastian Ehn and Jacob Wood qualify for mixed classification final. Joshua Hutchinson has to wait and see if he can qualify for the 15-year final with that time. This is Heat 2. The swimmers are Caden Hitchens, Harry Osborne, Daniel Codaverde, Aaron Castillo, Benjamin Palmer. Sorry, lane 9 is empty. In 4, Moses Lamb. Then it's Julian Ockroy, Peter Fensom, Zachary Callanan and Kieran Williams. And it's Daniel Codaverde leading here. He's got his head down, barely breathing. It's Codaverde, and then I think it may be Moses Lamb second. Into the wall then, Codaverde, 24.73. And Daniel Codaverde's into the 15 years. Sorry, Daniel Codaverde's in the 17-18 years age group there, but we will have 15 years qualifiers for Moses Lamb, I think with 25.12, yes. And Benjamin Palmer qualifies with 25.20, so 2 qualifiers there. Moses Lamb 25.12, and also qualify Kieran Williams for the mixed classification final. Moses Lamb, Benjamin Palmer, second and third there, qualify for the 15 years final. In Heat 3, it's Alfie Davis, Oliver Davey, Eden Saint, Hayden Sanders, Matthias Christoph, Tarek Bluck, Mir Al-Dabak, Leo Maros, Benjamin Beal and Lucas Douglas. Lane 5 is empty, so there is no Matthias Christoph. Leading in 6 is Hayden Sanders, and then it's Tarek Bluck. Hayden Sanders looking absolutely brilliant. Did he breathe at all in this 50? He's going to be beaten to the wall though by Tarek Bluck, 24.03, and then Hayden Sanders 24.06. Both of those swimmers with personal best times. 0.03 between first and second then. Hayden Sanders qualifies, Lucas Douglas qualifies for the 15 years final. We know that Joshua Hutchinson from the earlier heat now, from Heat 1, does qualify for the 15 years final as well. On to Heat 4. In Heat 4, it's Jake Battle, Tyler Stone, Brogan Smith, Demetrius Tahanovs, Harry Willis, Henry Shepherd, Robert Shipley, George Bailey, Samuel Hall and Frank Lamb. And in lane 1, Samuel Hall going very, very strongly. I think he's out in front. Now coming through in 5, it's Harry Willis. It's Samuel Hall and Willis then in 1 and 5. Into the wall they go. And it's Samuel Hall in 23.79 seconds. He's in the 17s and 18s age group. Harry Willis second there in the 15 years age group. And for the 15 year swimmers there, Harry Willis qualifies, Jake Battle qualifies, Brogan Smith qualifies. In the 16 years age group, Dimitri Tahanovs will have to wait and see, but it does mean Tarek Bluck from an earlier heat is definitely into the 16 years final. Next is Heat 5. We have 9 swimmers in this heat. Oliver Pedra, Samuel Andrews, Charlie Phipps, Nikolai Cisnet, Ben Every, Yusuf El Madini, Sam Brilka, Toby Hodgson and Otto Segalini Bauer. And in lane 5, it's Nikolai Cisnet who leads. Lane 7, Samuel Andrews looking good. And in lane 0, Otto Segolini-Bauer. I think it's Cisnet and Segolini-Bauer and maybe Andrews. First to the wall, Cisnets, then Segolini-Bauer, and then Andrews then. Segolini-Bauer, 23.93. He qualifies for the 16 years final with that time. Samuel Andrews, the second 16-year-old there, also qualifies. From an earlier heat, those times mean Dimitris Tarhanovs qualifies for the 16 years final. Charlie Phipps there in fourth, 24.34, qualifies for the 15 years final. Everybody else has to wait and see.
This is heat 6.
We have one place left in the 15 years final. Jaden Carter is swimming in lane 9 in that age group. Here we go, heat 6. The swimmers are Jaden Carter, David Kimaro, Lachlan Small, Austin Manley, Ronnie Edwards, Solomon Silverstone, Will Gibson, Evan McQuaid, Ewan Cox and Charlie Stevenson. Jaden Carter didn't get a great start, but he's up there with the leaders now. Will Gibson, I think, is the leader. And now coming through strongly in 6, it's Austin Manley. Will Gibson, right up there, it's anybody's race, right to the touch. Austin Manley got there first, 23.96. So Austin qualifies for the 16s final with that. Ronnie Edwards, second, 24.00. We'll check, we've still got plenty of swimmers to come. Jaden Carter finished 5th in 24.07 and qualifies for the 15 years final for sure. So Jaden Carter qualifies for 15 years final. Austin Manley, the heat winner, qualifies for the 16 years final. In the 17s and 18s, everyone has to wait and see. Ronnie Edwards is the fastest 17-18 swimmer there, but he's only second fastest so far of the 17s, 18s. 4 heats left. Here comes heat 7. The swimmers are Colton Dorfeld, Louis Ennis, Harry Cook, Wilfred Lee, Martin Yankoff, Benjamin Dalewood, Malachi Woods, Logan Day, Oscar Hunter and Theo Bari. Harry Cook's in the lead here. And now Colton Dorfeld getting ahead of him. And in 0, Theo Bari. So it's 9, 7 and 0, I think, the leading 3 here. Who's going to get the touch? It's Malachi Woods in 3 coming through with a strong finish. Then Theo Bari and then Colton Dorfeld. Our fastest 16-year-old there was Harry Cook, 24.19. He qualifies for the final. Logan Day qualifies with 24.23. Everybody else has to wait and see. Malachi Woods is now the second fastest at the moment in 17s and 18s. But we still have more than 10 swimmers left in that age group. 3 heats to come. This is heat 8. In this heat, it's Alex Holmes, Adam O'Neill, Lucas Mrook, Ethan Soppert-Moss, Alexander Cahoon, Aidan Simons-Brown, Evan Davis, Joshua Shepherd, Alessandro D'Onofrio and Nebi Sengula. We're into the circle seeded heats now, so there are fast swimmers in the middle of the pool, Alex Cahoon and Aidan Simons-Brown. And they finish first and second, 22.3 and 22.56 respectively. They are both in the 19s and over age group. Alex Cahoon, Aidan Simons-Brown, Evan Davis, the first 3 there. The first 2 of those, Cahoon and Simons-Brown, definitely in the final. Evan Davis has to wait and see, but he probably will qualify with 23.25, I expect. In the 17th, 18th, Ethan Soppert-Moss probably qualifies, but it's not certain yet. So did Joshua Shepherd. Alex Holmes and Nebi Sengil are both qualified there for the 16 years final. Heat 9 now. The swimmers are Elliot Arnell, Archie Tebbett, Joshua Parker, Maddox Roberts. Then the empty lane. Then it's Kieran Grant, Jamie Ingram, Samuel Sutcliffe, Danny Lennon and Oscar Collier. And it's Kieran Grant just ahead of Maddox Roberts here. Kieran Grant and Maddox Roberts followed by Jamie Ingram. Watch the clock then. Kieran Grant's 22.16 followed by Maddox Roberts. 22.16 our fastest time so far. Maddox Roberts with 22.48. They both qualify for the 19s and overs final with those times. Jamie Ingram also qualifies. Evan Davis from the previous heat is also now qualified for his final. In the 17s and 18s there, Samuel Sutcliffe qualifies. Joshua Parker qualifies. From earlier heats, Ethan Soppett-Moss and Joshua Shepherd are now guaranteed places in their final. And Archie Tebbett, their 6th, he qualifies for the 16s final. He's the fastest qualifier for that final. One heat left then, heat 10. It's Joshua Malenga, Benedict McCarthy, Alfie Price, Angelo Gianni Contini, Jordan Cooley, Alex Painter, Rio Dowdu, Ruben Alti, Henry Dean and Peter Enaki. Jordan Cooley swimming away from everyone else here. The fastest we've seen so far is 22.16. Jordan Cooley, 22.13. That's our fastest time from all of the heats. So he'll be in the middle lane, lane 4 for the 19s and over final. Alexander Painter, 22.93, qualifies as well. Also qualifying there, Rio Dowdu and Angelo Gianni Contini. And in the 17s, 18s, Ruben Alti qualifies, Henry Dean qualifies, Alfie Price qualifies. Benedict McCarthy misses out. From earlier heats, Lucas Mrook, Alessandro D'Onofrio and Samuel Hall take the final places in the finals. I will just caveat that by saying swimmers who I'm saying have qualified in 10th place. So Samuel Hall, Angelo Gianni Contini. There could be ties for 10th places. I'm doing these calculations very quickly. So just bear that in mind. We have women's 50 metres backstroke next. That's our next event. We'll have 2 swimmers in heat 1 of the women's 50 metres backstroke. There will be 10 heats. While we're waiting, I will just have a check if there are any potential ties. In heat 1, it's Isabel Allen for City of Cardiff and Elizabeth Land for Morpeth. Elizabeth Land closer to us with the longer underwaters at the starts. Isabel Allen, the furthest swimmer from us, is in the 15 years age group. Elizabeth Land in the 17s and 18s. And for these swimmers, we are looking to get under 33 seconds into the wall then. And comfortably inside that. Elizabeth Land, 31.12. We have a potential swim-off for a tied 12th place from the previous heat, by the way, but it won't affect who qualifies for finals. There we go, confirmed times there, 31.12 for Elizabeth Land and Isabel Allen, 31.38, and they are both personal best times for Elizabeth and Isabel. So well done to both. Heat 2, and we have 9 swimmers in this heat. Those swimmers are Sophia Westhead, Mia Garner, Isla Bennett, Georgia Alcott, Clementine Lovell, Elizabeth Vickerman, Lexi Sandyford, Camilla Holland and Lucy Raper. And in this heat we will hopefully get a few swimmers under 32 seconds. Leading the way is Lexi Sandyford, 3 lanes from the bottom of your screen. So it's Lexi Sandyford and then I think Clementine Lovell. So it's Lexi Sandyford's, Isla Bennett just touching out Lovell there. 30.54. So we had 7 swimmers there under 32 seconds. Good times for those swimmers who got under 32. Nobody qualifying yet for sure in any age group, but Lexi Sandyford, 30.54 is the fastest 15-year-old so far. On to Heat 3. That's not a full start. The starter asked the swimmers to relax. So we'll reset and start again. In this heat, it's Lois Smith, Rachel Ho, Autumn Claxton, Sophia McMahon, Emily Ainsworth Fletcher, Sophia Stoyanova, Emily Grace Bentley, Matilda Biggs, Grace Robinson and Emilia Spence. Sophia Stoyanova in 4, just ahead of Emily Ainsworth Fletcher and Sophia McMahon. Also going well, Emily Grace Bentley, and I think it might be Bentley in 3 to get the touch here. It is 30.78 seconds. Sophia McMahon 30.99 and a tie for third between Emily Ainsworth Fletcher and Rachel Ho. No guaranteed places in finals yet. Too many swimmers still to come. Although having said that, no, Lexi Sandyford from a previous heat qualifies. Sophia McMahon and Autumn Claxton there both qualify for their 15 years final. So Sophia McMahon qualifies, Autumn Claxton qualifies. Emilia Spence will have to wait and see. 31.53 puts her 7th at the moment. Emily Grace Bentley is now the fastest 16 years swimmer, but she'll have to wait and see. And Emily Ainsworth Fletcher, the fastest 17s, 18s at the moment, but also has to wait and see. On to Heat 4. The swimmers here are Amy Mayer, Abigail McInerney, Isabella Keane, Ada Yao, Yara Gazal, Emily Hall, Eloise Cole, Ava Edwards, Megan Ormiston and Martina Karabach. It's Emily Hall leading in 4, and then Abigail McInerney in 8. Looks like she's second at the moment. Yara Gazal is coming through in 5. So it's Emily Hall in 4, Gazal in 5, and McInerney in 8. And it's McInerney who gets it, 30.51 ahead of Emily Hall and Gazal. So Abigail McInerney then winning the heats in the 17s, 18s. She'll have to wait and see if she qualifies though. So will Emily Hall in the 16s. Yara Gazal qualifies for the 15s final. Ada Yao qualifies for the 15s final. Ava Edwards there. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think that will be quick enough, 31.48. Now it's heat 5. We have 8 swimmers in this heat. Erin Barber, Ruthie Galloway, Darcy Jackson, Catherine Williams, Grace McDonald. Lane 4's empty. Emma Hagberg, Lily Ruse Carr and Rose O'Brien, and lane 0 is empty. And clearly leading Darcy Jackson here. Darcy Jackson swimming very well in lane 7. And she's going to get to the wall first in 30.03. That's a PB for Darcy. She's swimming in the 17s, 18s age group. She's now the fastest 17-18 swimmer, but there are still more than 10 to come, so no guarantees of qualification there. She just has to wait and see. In fact, nobody in that heat has definitely qualified for their final. They all have to wait and see in their various age groups. Rose O'Brien, 31.43. May miss out on the 15s final, actually. This is heat 6. In heat 6, it's Annabelle J, Heather Clubb, Charlotte Jezard, Jessica Huggins, Poppy McCready, Nicole Maynard, Grace Nichols, Emily Collins, Daniela Bresner and Megan Daniel. Emily Collins going very well in lane 2, and in 5 is Poppy McCready. Those two out in front then. It's Collins and McCready, and I think McCready's going to get it in 5 to the wall first in 30.00. A new PB for Poppy. Emily Collins, 30.30. Emily Collins with a new personal best time as well. Poppy McCready qualifies for the 15 final. Annabelle J qualifies. From earlier heats, we now know Autumn Claxton and Isla Bennett are into the 15 years final. And also there in the 16 years, Emily Collins, Grace Nichols, Megan Daniel all qualify. Emily Hall from an earlier heat also now knows she'll be in the final for the 16 years. This now is heat 7. 4 heats left. The swimmers are Rosalie Anderson, Lucy Douglas, Tia Samut, Alana Henry, Amber Rigg, Sadie Roberts, Zara Kraviec, Emma Cushion, Darcy Smith and Holly Waymond. Amber Rigg, the early leader, but Sadie Roberts coming back now. It's Rigg and Roberts pulling away, and Zara Kraviec and Emma Cushion going with them into the last 5, and it's Amber Rigg, I think, who'll get to the wall just ahead of Sadie Roberts, 30.03 for Amber. That's in the 17-18 category, the 17-18 age group, and it ties with Darcy Jackson as the fastest 17-18 swimmer so far. In the 16 years there, Sadie Roberts qualifies for the final, Lucy Douglas qualifies for the final, Emma Cushion qualifies for the final. In the 15 years there, Alana Henry with 30.46 qualifies, Tia Samet qualifies as well with 30.58. And in 17-18 there, Amber Rigg qualifies, and from the earlier heat, Darcy Jackson is also into the 17-18 final. Heat 8, we have 3 more heats to swim. In this heat, it's Astrid Facius, Charlotte Gower, Tegan Matthews, Macy Brough, Rhea Harrand, Fenella Woodis, Lydia Caudle, Annabelle Neal, Laura Ann Marshman, and Aoife Dwifer-Clark. And it's Rhea Harrand in the 17s-18s age group who's leading. Fenella Woodis just behind in the same age group. And Laura Ann Marshman in the 19s and overs right up there with the leaders. Lydia Caudle finishing strongly, but it's going to be Rhea Harrand. 29.48 seconds. Then Fenella Woodis, 29.51. So our first 2 swimmers there are in the 17s and 18s age group. Rhea Harrand qualifies, Fenella Woodis qualifies, Tegan Matthews qualifies, Charlotte Gower qualifies, Astrid Facius qualifies. Aoife Dwifer-Clark will have to wait and see there. In the 16 years, Lydia Caudle qualifies. And in the 19s and overs there, Laura Ann Marshman qualifies for her final. 2 heats left. This is heat 9. It's Jessica Kirkwood, Amy Jones, Gina Warrior, Eve Whitney, Isabel Price, Neve Ward, Sophie Knocker, Bethan Cook, Evelyn Hallisey and Lexi Mulcahy. Isabel Price out in front. We're into the circle seeded heat, so very fast swimmers in the middle of the pool. Isabel Price, Neve Ward coming back. Bethan Cook going well. It looks like Price, Ward and Cook into the wall. And Amy Jones gets up there with 29.64 to be third. So it's Isabel Price, 29.18. Isabel's a 17-18 swimmer. And she qualifies for the 17-18 final for sure. Let's look at the 17-18 swimmers there then. Isabel Price into the final. Eve Whitney into the final. Evelyn Hallisey into the final. Jessica Kirkwood will miss out. In the 19s and overs there, Neve Ward qualifies, Bethan Ward, Sophie Knocker and Gina Warrior all through to the final. And in the 16 years there, Amy Jones is the fastest qualifier for the 16 years final. And from an earlier heat, Annabelle Neal now knows she will be in the 16 years final. Lexi Mulcahy from that last heat also qualifies. Here's the final heat, heat 10. And the final 10 swimmers are Gabrielle Freeman, Eve Wood, Sky Carter, Fionn Humphries, Kate Schillinger, Blythe Kinsman, Sophie de Groots, Scarlett Shepherd, Sophie Moore and Lily Grover. And in Blythe Kinsman in lane 4 is our leader ahead of Kate Schillinger. And they are a long way ahead of everybody else by 50 metres terms. It looks like Scarlett Shepherd will get thirds. Blythe Kinsman first, Sophie de Groot got second and Scarlett Shepherd third. So Kate Schillinger just touched out. So Blythe Kinsman 28.44 seconds, our fastest swim of the entire set of heats. That was the final heat. Second there was Sophie de Groot, 29.62, so she qualifies for the 19s and overs final. So 19s and overs there. Blythe Kinsman, Sophie de Groot both qualify. Lily Grover, Sophie Moore and Sky Carter into the final. 17, 18 years, Fionn Humphries qualifies there. And Eve Wood and Gabriel Freeman miss out. But Kate Schillinger and Scarlett Shepherd, they qualify for the 16 years final with those times. And you would have seen Kate Schillinger's time was updated. She was in the top three there. 29.12 was her time. The backup time being used because the touchpad didn't register. Our next session will be at 1 p.m. If you're watching abroad, you can hopefully see local time is 11:42 there on the big screen. So in an hour and a quarter, we will be back with the heats for women's 800 meters freestyle. And medals will be won when we come back in that session, because it's a heat declared winner. So the fastest three swimmers from those heats will qualify, will win medals in each of the age groups. And as our officials are leaving the poolside, I think that is the end of the session. So thank you for supporting your athletes. It makes a big difference for everyone to know that they've got people at home watching and cheering them on. We really appreciate that. We hope you'll join us again at 1 p.m. for the heats, where medals will be won in women's 800 meters freestyle. Until then, thank you for watching.